Hey guys, this is George from the Raven Age, and you are watching Loud TV. It's different approach, you know. Like we all play. To be honest, I actually do a hell of a lot of our writing on an acoustic guitar purely because I'm lazy, and it's like sitting there in the living room and I'll just grab it and just slouch on my sofa and just sit there playing the guitar. So I play the acoustic guitar all the time, so it's not really difficult to record. It's more just like you have to approach the song very differently because a lot of the fast metal riffs, it just doesn't really work on an acoustic. So we can't sort of actually change the song to kind of work in that scenario. And also had to keep space because we wanted to add in like strings and stuff like that as well, and piano. And actually Tommy, the guy who's just joined as a guitar player, he did all the piano playing on this thing as well. So he's like a grade 8 pianist as well. And he organised some of the strings and stuff. So it was a pretty cool, different thing that we always just kind of gone, let's make a full-on metal album, and it was just a completely other side of what we're used to doing. So I think sometimes it's funny because you see fans pick up the album at the shows and they like get home and thinking, oh, that was awesome, put this on, and like, oh. But maybe we have to announce it or something. So the guys got a deal with Schecter, and they gave us some acoustic guitars for touring purposes, and they're like quite small and compact, but they actually sound great. So we used these Schecter acoustics. We also used like a Fender Kingman, which is just like a really nice, warm, full-bodied sound. I think like that's like the nicest sounding acoustic guitar I've played. So we've luckily got access to one of them at the studio at home. Kind of use that for. I think that's been on every album so far. Actually, that particular guitar just sounds so nice. Yeah, well, they've come from the last, God knows, like a few years. We've had all sorts of ideas, but luckily we managed to develop them over the pandemic, and we feel like we've got them really refined, and they're recorded. We've been listening to new mixes on the road, and sounding awesome. Like we're just excited to get that out there now.
So it's done?
It's almost done. It's a work in progress, but like. It's not far off of being done. We're kind of finalising it at the moment, but yeah, we're like super happy with it.
What's the team? Who's the producer of the album?
It's the same guy we've used previously. Yeah, we've got a really good working relationship. It's a guy called Matt Hyde.
Yeah, Matt Hyde.
And yeah, exactly. We've worked with Matt for quite a while. He's just built a new studio, and it's just great because we go in and can sit with him. He's got great ideas himself. He's a great technician, and together it just seems to work, So we did actually look at going with a different producer, but just because we felt like maybe we should try it, and it just didn't work. It just was like, it sounds good, it was sounding great, but it's just not us. Like we seem to have formed our sort of sound with Matt Hyde, so we've gone with Matt Hyde again, and it's just we're super happy so far. Yeah, it wasn't difficult. Like it all kind of it comes somewhat naturally to us, I guess. And we've been together as a band for quite a while, so we all know each other's strengths and stuff like that. And everyone adds in their piece. And we had a long time to develop it, so it's been cool. Like Tommy's joined fairly recently, so we've had him in the studio last, essentially doing some like lead guitar solos and stuff like that, just kind of like putting the icing on the cake type thing. But I mean, yeah, we're happy with our last album. That's kind of, I think it carried our morale through the pandemic because our listeners were just going up and up and up, and we weren't even playing any shows. We're like, oh, this is cool because like there's obviously word of mouth going on, and people sharing the music, and people were finding it on Spotify and YouTube and all that stuff, and people were kind of getting into it. I was like, this is really cool, and it just kind of drove us forward a little bit, I think. But yeah, this new album's, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit more, maybe a bit more mature in a way.
Of course.
Maybe. I'll let everyone else decide that. It feels it for me anyway. But yeah, no, like, just mega excited for people to hear the next chapter. I think it's the songwriting has just kind of evolved a bit. Yeah, so the album before, there was lots of ideas which come from like quite a few years ago. And I don't know why, as a songwriter myself, the other guys have got more involved with writing as well, and we've kind of just, maybe it's from just being together a bit longer, but maybe a bit older. You know, kind of your taste changes a little bit as you get a bit older and whatnot, and I feel like the writing's kind of matured a bit. It's concentrate a lot more on the actual song, the melodies, how everything works, rather than just being like, let's just write a heavy song, you know. And I think it's come out for the better. Yeah, we crossed paths with them a couple of times at Download. They're playing at Download. I think there's one more festival in Europe somewhere. I can't remember which one it is now. That I think they're also playing the same ones. We'll cross paths with them. But he's also on the road with British Lion. He's like a side project band, and I think we might cross paths with them at a couple of festivals as well. So I'm sure I'll see him.
He never stops.
Never stops, never. Crazy. He genuinely likes the music. That's the thing, because one thing I can say for sure is that he'll give me his honest opinion, and whether that's he thinks it's shit or he thinks it's great, he'll tell me. So, no worries about that.
What's his best advice to you?
Probably, I think quite early on he said this to me, and he sort of drummed it into my head a bit. It's just like, you've got a thing going. It's just like, make sure you stick to your guns. Essentially, it's like, the more you sort of develop and the more you work with other people, and the bigger you get, there's more people with more ideas, and sometimes people can try and say, oh, you need to do this, you need to go down that road, stop doing it. It's like, make sure you just kind of have your idea and you stick to it. I think that's pretty good advice.